Let me begin the session. So today's agenda for the session is nothing but unboxing Devops Center. Okay, so before I deep dive into today's agenda, let us thank our sponsors who have made this Pakistan Dreaming a grand success. Or to PDF Butler, Media Monks, and yes, a very special thanks to the Trailblazer community. Is only because of the Trailblazer community and people like you, because of whom this session is very grand success. Uh, yeah, let me check whether everything is clear. Okay, yeah. So, a short introduction about me. My name is Aman Tiwari, and you can find me on LinkedIn and Twitter as well. So, these are my LinkedIn and Twitter handle. I am a lifetime learner, philanthropist, speaker, and also hard worker. I have 3 Salesforce certifications. Also, I hold a Trailhead Ranger rank and 2 COPADO certifications. So you will find me very active on the Trailblazer community, be it as a speaker, be it as a mentor, be it as a counselor. So whatever things you face, any problem related to Salesforce, related to anything related to Salesforce, you can reach out to me through Twitter or the LinkedIn handles, and I'll glad to help you in any possible way. So with that introduction, let's deep dive into today's agenda. So today's agenda is understanding the DevOps Center. These are some of the things that I'll cover up. First, we'll start with what is DevOps Center. Then we'll do the installation. And the most important things, this session will not be only theoretical or just me telling you the things and you understanding it. It will be both the practical way, and to make it more interactive, I'll try to come to the chat box and see if there is any questions. Still, if you feel that you want to share something on the stage, just give me a request and I'll give you an option to unmute and ask your questions or anything that you want to share. With that, let's start. So what is DevOps Center? So before we understand DevOps Center, let us understand what is DevOps. So DevOps, as you all know, it's nothing but the combination of 2 words, that is development and operations. So does that justify the meaning of DevOps? No, not at all. So DevOps means it will include both your development team as well as the IT team. In short way, a client will come and he will give you the requirement. Okay, so it's just not only the development team who will just understand the requirement and develop it. It will include both. It will include everyone, like be it a developer, be it a business analyst, be it a tester, be it your project manager, release manager, everyone. So all these people fall into that DevOps, like developing a particular thing in your developer org to making it live until your production org. Everything goes through a pipeline, and that pipeline falls under DevOps. So now what is Salesforce DevOps Center? So Salesforce DevOps Center is nothing but a native Salesforce tool which has been recently introduced by Salesforce, and it is still in beta version. When I say beta version, it means it is still in the testing phase. It might be possible that there might be some glitches, there might be some issues, and for that Salesforce team is still working on. So an overall definition is like it's a low code or a pro code development product which both your administrator and the development team is going to use to deploy a certain thing that has been developed from your developer org until your production org. So that's a short thing about DevOps Center. Now, what all are the benefits which DevOps Center is providing you as compared to the other things that are already there? So first things, it is giving you a modern UI where you can view, manage, or track the changes that are being happening in your development. Okay, next thing, it is saying that seamlessly integrate with version control. So version control, as we all know, it's like the things that are being developed, and like suppose or there are 2 3 developers who are working on their own particular branches. Now to see which developer is developing what and whose development has been done properly. So that is done using seamlessly integration using the version control. This is like moving changes across environment with clicks. So instead of understanding GitHub or Bitbucket or anything, you can just do all that things using this DevOps Center. You don't need to go and check what is happening in any other CI/CD tools that I'm using or anything. You can directly do it using your DevOps centers. The last one that is talking about work with hybrid teams. So this is something, it's like, as I told you, right? There are 2 3 developers or more developers who are working, that might be working, that 2 3 developers are working on another scratch orgs. There are some developers who are working on a developer org, and then I want to merge their all the work together. So that is possible through DevOps Center. DevOps Center provides you to do the deployment using their own tool, or you can do it outside it as well, and you can see that changes in the DevOps Center. So this, the last point which I'm talking is little bit difficult for you to understand now, but hold on for a few minutes. You will understand what I'm trying to say once I show you the practical implementation. Okay, so before I come to this slide, let me tell you that installation of DevOps Center takes some time. So for that, let me log in to my Salesforce org and let me start the installation of DevOps Center. Once it is getting installed at the backend, I will explain you the other things. Okay, so I have logged into Salesforce. Now, what I'll do is I'll just come here and I'll search for DevOps. So you click here, here we'll get the DevOps Center. The first and the foremost thing that you have to keep in mind, before you install DevOps Center, you have to enable this. So in my org, this has been already enabled. Okay. Now in your org, you need to enable it before you install the DevOps Center. So I'll click on install package. Next. Okay, it has already been installed in my org, so apologies for that. Let it get upgraded if there is any recent changes that has been brought up. So there might be question in your mind that why there was a need to bring DevOps Center, though there was already change set in Salesforce, right? So we all know that there are a lot of limitations when we are working on chain sets. The first problem is that when we go to chain set, the first thing is we are not able to select particular object or particular lightning component that we have created. We have to scroll down to each and every component or each and every object that is available, and then we have to select it, and then we go for the further steps. So that is one of the drawback which Salesforce had in back of the mind, and then they have come up with DevOps Center. Now, as they have bought the DevOps Center, so what does it mean? So it means that there will be no further enhancements happening to change set. Not immediately, but definitely after some time there are plans to give a retirement to the change set. So yes, you're thinking right. There are very high chances that change sets will be replaced by DevOps Center. Now, is version control system mandatory? Yes, version control system is mandatory for your DevOps Center. So version control system, I hope you all know what is version control system. Currently, only GitHub is supported is the supported version control system for DevOps Center. But as I said, it is still in the beta version phase. Once it goes for GA, that is generally available, then it might be supported for Bitbucket, Azure DevOps, GitLab, and many other things. The next thing, does DevOps Center work with Classic? No. We all know that Lightning is the future, and keeping that thing in mind, even Salesforce says that DevOps Center is only supported in the Lightning enabled orgs only. So please keep in mind that it is not going to support whenever you are trying to use DevOps Center in the classic version. Another thing that is very important that comes into the mind, where can I install DevOps Center? So as I told you, as I showed you here, that the DevOps Center I have installed it. So keep in mind that you can install the DevOps Center only in the production org, in the developer edition org, and Scratch org. Okay, so these are the places where you can install the DevOps Center. So here, since I'm using a free developer org, that is the developer free developer org, so that here I have installed the developer center. So I will just use this org as my production org. I hope that's clear. Moving on to the next question, part, does it work with CI/CD tools? So as I told you, at generally available DevOps Center will be able to work along existing CI/CD tools, but still it is in the beta phase and there are things that has been built up. But at the future roadmap, they are going to be available for the CI/CD tools. So before I proceed ahead, let me check, is there any questions in the chat box? Okay, fine. Yeah, there is no question as of now. So people don't hesitate to ask any question, because even I am, so as I always say, is that there is a room for learning. So even if you feel that you have any doubt, maybe it very, you might feel that it's very silly, but it's not at all. Please come ahead and put up any of the question that you have. So I'll be very happy to answer that. If you don't ask question, there are two possibilities: you are understanding everything, or there is something that I am missing to make you understand the things. So please, if you don't have, if you have any questions, just come up and do post your questions. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead. As I told you, that once you start installing the DevOps Center, the first and the foremost thing that you have to do is you have to enable this option. You have to enable this DevOps Center option, or the toggle button that is available. You have to enable it. Once you enable, you have to click on install package. Once you click on install package, it will get installed, and then you have to follow the other steps. Now what is the next step? The next step is to create a connected app for DevOps Center. Now why we need that connected app? So since it's a package, since this is a package, they don't have any app that has been given by Salesforce for the DevOps Center. So it's our responsibility that we create a connected app for DevOps Center. Now how to do that? So to do that, you have to go to your setup. You need to click on App Manager. In that, you have to click on New Connected App. So in my case, I have already I already have that app, but still I'll show you how it is done. So I'll click on New Connected App. Okay, let me try to use another org if I have. It's like already the things are there and you won't understand it. So I will use another org. Let me see that if in that org I have not installed. I hope I have not installed DevOps Center. Mhm. Let me check. There is no DevOps Center. So what I'll do is I will repeat all the steps that I was telling you. I'll repeat that steps. So you have to go to this DevOps Center. As I said, first you have to enable it. So since this has been developed, this DevOps Center has been developed using AWS. So that is some of the license agreement that you need to accept. Once you accept it, it got enabled. Next thing is you have to install the package. Okay, it will take some time. I'll just click on install for admins only, because there are very limited users in my org. And I'll click on continue. As I said, it will take some time to get installed. So have some patience. You can grab a cup of tea till that time it's getting installed. Let me check. Is there any question? Okay. Okay. Thanks, Mariano. There is some questions in the QA. Is it in some sense related to agile? Okay, so agile is a kind of methodology. This is not at all like, it's not like it's related to agile. It is like, it is a, you can say it's a deployment tool. Okay, so somewhere that methodology is involved, but this is not like that, this particular thing fall into the agile methodology. Okay, this is like a deployment tool that you can see which is being used. I'm going to get certified in admin very soon. What is the best DevOps tools to initially go with? Okay, so there are a lot of DevOps tool that is already available in the market. I don't think that I will be able to give you the satisfactory answer, but whatever I know, I'll try to give it from my end. So if you are focusing only towards Salesforce, or you are going to get certified to the admin very soon, so it will be my suggestion to learn the Salesforce DevOps, because this is very new in the market. And the best thing about the DevOps Center is rest of the tools that are already available. And I say the rest of the tools and rest of the DevOps tools that are already available, the major drawback is that they are the paid one. So this is the free DevOps tools that is available. So you can learn this, and you can also tell your, for the organization that you're working, if they're using any DevOps tool, then you can say that the future is of the DevOps Center. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. Okay, the most important question that I was about to, I know someone will ask me, is going to help resolve conflict and backward deployment, common issues which we have CI/CD. Yes, so Krishna, yeah, it's Krishna or Krishan. So yeah, it will solve it. As I told you, right, it is still in the beta version. So whatever the suggestions or whatever things that you have in your mind, you can just write it down to Salesforce, and they will work on it. As of now, merge conflict, that is the issue, that is the thing which they are working on. Recently, when there was a Salesforce days in India, the developer team did announce that they are working on it, but it's very, it's a very initial phase or very soon phase that I can tell you whether it will be resolved or not. But yeah, I can assure you that yes, in future that will be resolved. For now, it's not available, but in future it will be available. Okay, let me check it installed or not. Till the time I'm checking, if you have any other questions, you can post it out here. Okay, it is installed. Now, as I told you, we need to create a connected app. The reason we all know. So we'll go to the app manager. We'll click on new connected app, and we'll give it a name. So any name that you want, you can give it. I'll just give it DevOps Center. Contact email, as of now, we can give this one. So this is whatever thing that I'm mentioning is not my from my own end. This is available in the documentation which is given by Salesforce. So you can just go to the documentation and you can see it. Logo image, I'll be giving this one, which is there in the Salesforce documentation. And the another thing that is important out of this is web app settings, that the start URL that you need to give. So this is the URL that I will be giving, and done. So we have completed this part. Our app is ready. Now another thing is assigning the permission set. So this is the permission set that we need to assign SF DevOps name credentials. This is the permission set which will give you an authentication to work on the DevOps Center. So I'll just go to manage, and I will go down, and here I will click on manage permission sets. If you see here, this is the permission set which I'm talking about. So see, it says grant access to the name credentials needed to authenticate work environment. Okay, so I'll click on save, and we are ready with our app. Now, what is the next thing that might be coming to your mind is like, my DevOps Center is ready, but I want my DevOps Center to be available only to Few people, right? Because DevOps Center is nothing but a deployment tool, and for that we have certain group of users like some admin or some developers or some release manager who are there in the pipeline, and they will be making use of DevOps Center. Not everyone we allow to make use of it, right? So for that, what we need to do, we need to go to the users and we need to assign some permission sets to those users. So what are the permission sets that we need to assign? So the first permission set is DevOps Center. So once you give this permission set, so this says that DevOps Center will be available to those users, only for those users who are having this permission set. DevOps Center Manager, this allows for that particular person to make use of the projects, environments, uh, what you say, workline items and pipelines that are available through, no, sorry, not pipelines, only the project part can be handled through the DevOps Center Manager. The next thing is DevOps Center Release Manager. This is normally given to the release managers who are available, who are making use of our DevOps Center. So, once you develop something, you will come to DevOps Center as a developer. You will come to DevOps Center and you will say that, okay, I have developed this and this is done from my end. Next, your team lead or your technical architect will come and review whatever changes you is done, and then he will mark it as ready for promote. Okay, once he mark it as ready to promote, it is the responsibility of the release manager to promote all the changes that has been developed, that has been done by your developer team, be it your administrator, anyone, to promote to the production or any other environment that is possible. So that can be done by the release manager only if he is having this permission set. Sorry, DevOps Center Release Manager. Okay, and this all I have already explained you. So now what I'll do, since we are having crunch of time and there are not much users available, I will be the one who will be the developer, who will be the manager, who will be the tech lead, and who will be the release manager. So I will be assigning all those permission set to myself. So I'll just go to permission set assignment. I'll click on edit assignments. I will just come here and I will select all these permission set that are available. DevOps Center, DevOps Center Manager, DevOps Center Release Manager. Oh, sorry. And the below one, SF DevOps Initialize Environment and Name Credentials. That's it. And I'll click on Save. Now, once I do this, I need to make sure that DevOps Center is available in my production org or not. So I will just go to this app launcher. I'll click and search for DevOps Center and it will show the app here. So as you can see here, my DevOps Center application is ready for use. Next, before I proceed ahead, let me go and check if there is any question. Okay. Is it going to help resolve that answer? AWS and DevOps, how does it contribute? Okay. So Aditya, as I said, so AWS and DevOps is like DevOps Center, which has been there, like the DevOps Center which has been built, it has been built using AWS as well as Salesforce. So that's why when we installed that DevOps Center, before installing that package, we got that agreement stating that this has been developed using AWS and Salesforce. So that is what I was talking about when I said AWS for DevOps Center. I hope I answered your question. Anything else? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to the next slide. Now, this is like identify environments. So enable source tracking. So what is source tracking? So source tracking means, now let's take an example that you have created a lightning web component and you have written 100 lines of code. So instead of documenting everything somewhere, your source tracking, if you have enabled it source tracking, everything will be captured within that particular part. So you don't need to worry about it. You just develop it, and you're within the when you do the pull request, everything will be captured in that source tracking. So where we need to do this enable source tracking, so you need to do this enable, you need to enable your source tracking in your developer org. Okay, now in my example I'm using scratch orgs. So in scratch org source tracking is already enabled, so you don't need to enable that. Okay, for your developer org or the developer pro sandboxes that are available, in that case you have to enable the source tracking. So, how to do that, I'll show you that as well. You have to go to this dev hub here, and here if you see here, we go down, this is called enable source tracking in developer and developer pro sandbox. So you need to enable this. Now you might be thinking why it's not enabled here. It's a free developer org that is available. Okay, you just need to click here and you have to enable it. Oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. The only problem here is, oh sorry, you have to enable it, and that's it. Okay, so moving on to the next part. Now once you install this DevOps Center, once you enable the this source tracking in your production org, the next thing that you need to do is, if you are working on your sandboxes, you need to go to the sandboxes and you need to refresh them. I'm not talking about the this refresh option that is available in your browser. When you go to your sandboxes, I don't know whether this is, or that option is not available here since this is a free developer org. But once you go to your sandboxes that are already available, when you're working in your real-time project, you will get that options. Okay, you just need to go there in your sandboxes and you need to click on this refresh button. For now, in my case, I'm using scratch.org, so I don't need to do that. This has already been taken care by Salesforce. Okay, now this step is done. Now we will go and create the project, which is the foremost and the first step in using our DevOps Center. Now, what is project, that you will understand once we go here. So once you install the DevOps Center, once you have enabled the source tracking, once you have refreshed the sandbox, then you need to come to your DevOps Center application and you need to click on new project. So once you click on new project, the first thing it will ask you to do is to connect your version control system. So as of now, as I told you, that since the DevOps Center is still in beta version, it is only supporting GitHub as of now. So we'll just click on connect to GitHub. It is little slow still. So as I have already logged into GitHub before I started the session, so it is already saying that authorization is done. It will take some time and then it will show you the option to create the project. So authorization has been done. It takes some time to show up the other options. So till the time it is getting upgraded or updated and the backend, let me check, is there any question? Okay, so there is a question from Aditya. So does it work on continuous or automation testing? Uh, Aditya, I didn't get your question. If you're asking me something related to um, testing related things, so I'm very sorry. I've not explored the testing part because I work as a developer, so I don't know anything related to automation testing or other things. But to more precise, if you can type your question in a little elaborative way, then I will be in a good position to answer it. I hope that sounds clear. Okay, so it's not giving me that option. Okay, what happened? Yeah. So if you see here, now I have refreshed this, and now if I click on new project, it is giving me an option to create the project. And if you see here, this is the repository which I have created in my GitHub. Okay, so let me write here. So I will first write the project name. So DevOps Center learning. I'm just giving it a name. You can give the proper name when you are doing this. Okay. And yeah, next thing, yeah, this is the repository. So when you are working, it might be possible that before you come to that project, there might be other people who are already using DevOps Center. So at that time, you will get this option. Okay. So what you need to do is you just need to your GitHub, you need to go to GitHub and to that particular repository where all that projects have already been built up. You have to just copy that link and you have to paste here. Since this is the first time I'm doing it, I'll be going with this option. I hope that is clear. I'll click on save. Okay, name already exists. Okay, what happened? DevOps Center learning has been created. Okay, it got created as I told you. Okay, now as I told you, the next thing is you have to connect all your orgs. Why we need to connect org is like suppose you have worked on any developer org. Now you need to deploy the changes which you have worked into a developer org to your SIT org, then to UAT, and then finally to production. So for that, you need to connect all your org. So first thing, you need to connect your production org so that you will be able to do it using this option. So unless and until you connect your production org, okay, you won't be able to connect all other orgs. So you need to come on to this release environment and click here, click to connect. Okay, so I'll just give it a name, production org. I'll click here production org and I'll click on login. So it will ask you to log in for once you have connected your org. So again I have to log in. Mm, okay. Now I hope that is logged in. Yes, it will ask you once you log in, it will ask you for the access, like Developer Center is asking for the following access. You just need to click on allow. And that's it. Your production org is ready to get connected. Again, it will take some time and it will show here the option to connect your other org. So, okay, it is still little slow. It did get refreshed. Yes. If you see here, your production org is connected. Okay. Now the next thing is what you need to do is you need to connect your other developer org. So for that, I'll click here and it will bring me here. Now, once you click, so what we did till now, we have created a project. Still that project is not created. The project will be said that it is created only when your all orgs are connected. Okay. So now my production org is ready to is connected. Now what I need to do is I'll connect developer org and UAT org. What are this options that coming up that I'll tell you once my all orgs are connected. Okay. So I'll click on add again and this time I'll write dev 1 and here I'll click on sandbox or scratch org and this is used for development, right? We are developing something, so we'll click on use for development and we'll click on login. Again, it is asking, I think I made a mistake in selecting that. Okay. Let me check, is there any question? Okay. Okay, why it is showing me this test? I am selecting the scratch org. Okay, there might be some recent changes they have bought. I'm not aware of it. So when I click on the sandbox, it is not taking the scratch org, that is login.salesforce. So I will select the production option since I'm using the scratch org or the developer org which are already available. Oh, so this is a big problem here. I don't have any sandboxes available. I can't do that. This URL should not come as test.salesforce. This won't work. As expected, this won't work because it's not test.salesforce. Okay, I have to find out some workaround. I will select this option, but this is not the feasible option to select the production org. Actually, this is not the right way to do it. But I don't have any other option because they have bought any some changes which I'm not aware of. Okay, so yeah, dev 1 is connected. I'll connect the another one, dev 2, or let me connect the UAT. This is like, you know, okay, let us go ahead and try to do something. Okay, I'll connect another org as well. For now, there is no need to connect another org. That I'll do it after some time. Okay, so now we'll go to this project which I've created. I know you guys might be thinking, people might be thinking that I have not selected this option. Actually, the thing is like when we select this option scratch org, I mean when I type something like dev 2, and when we select this option scratch org, this is the option which we need to select because that is the way where DevOps Center understand that this is the developer org that has been that are being used. But I don't know why it's not allowing me to use login.salesforce. I mean, it is taking me directly to the sandbox login, so I won't be able to show you that option. 2 weeks back when I was using it, it was all working properly. There has been latest some changes has been done which I'm not aware, so I'm very sorry for that. But still, I will be able to show you the demo now. Since your dev 1 UAT and production org is connected, now we can go and see the pipeline. So what is pipeline? So pipeline is like it will show you all the environments that has been connected. Okay, so if you see here, there is nothing it is showing into the development environment because the option which I was telling you, right here, this option which I was telling you, used for development, until unless this option is selected, there won't be any org which will be shown here. So I'll go to this. Okay, wait. I'll go to this pipeline. I shouldn't select this the stage name. So I'll select this, and here I'll select dev1. This is UAT, which is already there. I'll just select the org. This is the UAT org, and this is this, or this we don't need it, so we'll just remove it. Also, there is one more good thing about us is like you can just change the order. Like if you want your staging org before UAT, you can just click here, and you can just click to this drop down arrow, and you'll just click on shift stage left, so it will just come this side. But we don't want this, so I'll just click on remove stage and production. So production org is already there. So this is the branch that has already been created in the GitHub. Okay. So yeah, uh, we'll click on activate. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Not here. I'll click on work items. Activate is what, set a branch in the next stage first. Okay. This is UAT. You have to set the branch name before you set it. Okay. I have to activate this. So yes, before I go and click on work items, let me see is there any question in the chat. Okay, so there is no question. Okay, so now what is the next thing? So pipeline is like it will show you all the orgs that are available, from which org to which org we will deploy, and the changes will reflect in the production org. Work item is like your technical architect will come and define the work items. Is like the, when you are working in your Jira tickets and all, so you get some sorry, get some user story assigned to you. So this is the same thing, the work item which is available. So I'll just write here create objects, and here you can just write the same thing in a descriptive way, create object. Okay, and then this I'll assign it to myself, and I'll click on save. Okay, now one is, this is the work item which has been assigned from my technical architect. Okay, now what is the next thing is that as a developer I will log in and I will click on this work item. So once you log in from your end, you will see all the work items that has been assigned to you. So what you need to do, you need to come here and you have to select, I want to develop and commit my changes to the work item feature one. So you have to select that particular org where you want to make you want to develop it. So I know this problem will come because the main mistake that is happening from my end is here. This org, it's not allowing me to select the scratch org. and unless it allow me, because there is no development org that I have connected, so this won't work, and I can't use any sandbox from my end. uh, okay, guys, I can't proceed ahead with this session because until and unless I select a developer org, I won't be able to show the. I'm very sorry for that. I won't be able to show the practical implementation. So I have to stop this session here only because the rest of the things totally depends on the practical implementation. Yeah, these are some of the references that you can use it to understand and learn more about DevOps Center. And very apologies, this thing didn't worked out from my end. I'm very sorry. I was not aware like this is the recent changes. I don't know when this changes has been brought up, or there is something that I'm missing from my end. So let me give one more try. The org which I have mentioned, let me go to that org and see whether source tracking is enabled in that org or not. If that is enabled, then just hold on for 5 minutes. Um, yes, Walker, it is going to be available for free even if it goes live. Generally, once it becomes generally available, it will be for free. Till now, there is no any announcement that it won't be available for free. So, yeah, it will be available for free. Sorry for that. Yeah. So there is a lot of confusion happening in my mind because I'm not able to show the practical implementation. So I think I have not used the Scratch, or instead I have used this free developer org. So let me go to this and check. Sorry, not here, man. Dev Hub, and let me say enable source tracking. Yes, source tracking is enabled here as well. Okay, fine. I don't think so. There is any workaround from my end. So I'll just say I can just apologize for the things that happened. It's a big mishap that shouldn't have happened. I should have checked it from my end. I'm very sorry for that. Yeah, Aditya, I will be running this Rafael as a part of this. Okay, fine. I'll